vacuum? Yeah. If you're a trapper, whatever you're trapping, whether it's deer, bear, eels, shad, whatever it is, if you don't check your trap every day, you're not an honorable person. Check your trap every day or get out of the business. That's disrespect. Right, you see that photograph right there? This is a 7-pound eel, but you can notice in the photograph, at that period of time in my life, I was a rather significant czar of fashion. You get that?
Yeah.
All right, never mind. Okay, is a duck's ass watertight? Do you know anybody that's had 1 foot in the Bering Sea, one in the Pacific, at the same time on the backside of Little John Lagoon and the Eisenbeck? Been there, done that. That rock right over there is a blasting rock. You see all the horizontals in the front of it? That's because it's taken thousands of high-powered deer rifle rounds and blasted the shit out of it. And the stuff just flashed up in the air like that. I don't do that much anymore. Now, that one down there is called Duck Rock. It's huge, it's big. I can only imagine, because of the shape of it, that back in antiquity, hundreds of thousands of possibly years ago, I've been on that mountain over there. That mountain is so steep, you got to crawl on your hands and knees to get any place. I can't help but think, just looking at the physics of the whole deal, that rock rolled off, because of the shape of it, it rolled off the top and landed right there in the middle. This is the cool part. How are you doing today? Are you being a bird? There's a gentleman there who wants to make you famous on TV or some shitbag thing, you know what I'm saying? Are you paying attention? No? All right. Let me ask you this. In the morning, do you have fun when I come out here? Oh, of course you do. What a nice bird. You see him? You know what he is? He's a flatlander. He's experiencing life in a new context than he's ever seen before. You know why? Because he didn't know what birds are. Birds. Birds are birds. Hancock, New York, an area called Green Flats on the east branch of the Delaware River. I came here in 1948. My father sent money off Iwo Jima and bought this place. Back during the war, there was another little cabin here that burnt down. Some friends of ours stayed there and burned it, and then I built everything you see. I'm actually trained as an engineer. This is just a lot more fun. A little slow right now, but I'm basically funding my hobby as opposed to making a lot of money. People call me. I don't answer the phone anymore. I just don't answer the phone. If you want a message, leave me a message. If not, have a nice day. If you want something, walk in the door. That's policy. That's how it works. Right here, you want it, you got to walk in the door. And you got to have your vaccination, and you have to have a mask on, and you have to have sanitizer. The next thing is, there's another inoculation that's coming in September, which will be required. And if you don't mind, film that. See that? Mm-hmm. Right. If they haven't had their September shot, I'm going to identify to them that Walgreen is giving them out for free, which I just did the other day. You go down there, get your shots, come back, show me the paperwork, and I'll give you a free fish. But you have to have it in October or Didi Mao, which means leave. Sir. You got a walk-in cooler right there. You got double vacuum packers here, one for regular fish. This one's for salmon slabs and for eel. This is your basic operational center here in conformance with state regulation. Here it is. This is where I smoke a variety of things, okay? This I can do shrimp on it, or I take this thing out of here and I got hanging things for either eels, which I don't do anymore, but ducks, Cornish hens, fryers, birds get burnt here. Okay. What we have in here right now is trout, okay? And what we have to do, as you can see from this indicator right here, it's 150 degrees. This one here is 146. This one's 155. So the point is to make sure that these are properly cooked, which means that they have to be in excess of 145 for a minimum of 30 minutes. We have more than that right now, so it's considered successful. Now we're gonna let them cool, and then when they get down to 100, we'll take them out and tub them and put them in the walk-in. They'll be for sale tomorrow. This one right here is 5 feet deep. It's one I do cheese on, okay? This is a copper coil that goes back and forth numerous times back and forth, so that if it's really hot, we have an element of taking garden hoses from out there in a cooler with ice. We hook it into here and allow that to go back and forth and back and forth. Anything over 70 degrees. You know what happens to cheese? Okay, there you go. This is the area where I used to process the eels, but we've developed another procedure that takes a lot of the pain out of it. These are the smoke generators here. This one I just ran this morning. Okay.
You can feel the heat.
Yep, okay. This one over here does the racks on the other side. This one goes out here, it goes out there, goes along the side of the building, and then makes the matrix back and forth through the cheese smoker. Here's your setup for the garden hoses that go in through there and integrate into the copper coil on top of the cheese smoker. But the interesting thing about this technique, now, you see here, the smoke comes here, you cap it off right there, it goes down here, and then it makes that matrix back and forth and back and forth and back and forth through the thing. Why certainly. There. Yeah, what do you think of that, huh? Then you end up with Earware Hollow, which is that notch in the mountain, and that's Earware Hollow, where Charlie Howard worked before World War II, and I worked there for 40 years, hauling fish out. Between 98 and 07, I harvested 27,000 fish, 17,000 of them were eels.
Wow.
So that's a 10-year period of 40 years I did it. You could tell from the count from my log that the species is in considerable decline. Well, the first thing we used to do is process them on a kitchen table down on the flats, then take a big plastic tub and put 40 or 50 of them in there. And then what we used to do is take and dump 9 cups of salt in on it, and it breaks down the slime on the outside. Little Neanderthal at the time. Then what we'd have to do, scrape them with a knife and get the slime off of them. A lot of rinsing, a pail with holes in it, rinsing them off like that. But then the next thing we did, we would take and do the whole salting process, but then we used to bring them up here and put them in a cement mixer and throw number 2 stone in there with them and grind the slime right off of them, dump them into a weir barrel, a bunch of holes in it, and then rinse them off, put them in a pail, rinse them in a pail with holes in it, and rinse them off so they're nice and clean, and then we would bring them up to that table over there and do the visceration process. Now we don't do that anymore. We found a third technique that works much better as far as logistics are concerned. One, we take the eels, put them in a big box like this in plastic bag, put them in a freezer live. And what happens is the freezing processes break down the slime, and then all you have to do is just wipe it right off nice and easy. And then we use a brine, water, brown sugar, salt, dark fall honey. And then we let them soak for 2 days, work here all day and do what I had to do. And then after 5 o'clock, I'd go upstream about 800 yards and I'd see what was there. The fact that I did it for 40 years is a statement in its own right, but the fact that the city releasing water in the inappropriate time around the 29th of September, week one or the other, that's when the eels run. And that's a traditional, that's antiquity in migration. They released an extra amount of water, made it difficult to get to the place. There's a tremendous amount of work you have to do. It's 800 yards upstream. You have to tie canoes together, the catamaran pieces. The trap is 50 foot long. It's 5 feet wide. It's got two elements that are 2'6" wide. It's all lattice work that's spaced a ½ inch apart so the water flows through. And then once you get up there, you got to make sure you build it properly and get enough rock on the flank so it doesn't wash away. When the eels run around the 29th of September, week one way or the other, and they'll bang along this wall here and end up getting in the vortex here, and they go in, and then they plop in like I show you right here, okay? But what happens with this wall here, by the time the eels run, the water comes up, they've already predominantly made their move. What happens is the water goes over top, it washes these rocks back out, and then they just lay here for the next year to put them right back up here. This thing caused a problem because it gouged out and made a deep spot where we have to build it. That looks good, but wasn't correct. This is correct.
Interesting.
This is more effective, actually.
Did you do that every season?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Except the last one. And I'm letting Mother Nature do what it wants to.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't have the physical capabilities anymore to do that. I mean, I look at it this way. I'm 76. I put 6-8 hours here.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, to go up there and do 2 tons of stone, which is the standard, it's physically impossible.
Yeah.
And it was an antiquity. It was one of the pleasures of my life to be able to go out there every day and play with Mother Nature and the fish. and be reasonably successful at it. I'm a New York State licensed commercial fisherman. I've been for 40 years. I still keep the license just so that nobody can get in my way. And because nobody has any interest to do that much work, there's nobody around that has even the capacity or the intellect or the guidance to get up there and exercise what it takes to be efficient, prolific, and accomplish the trade. You got the high water, the cost of lumber. We've got snakeheads in the river now, non-indigenous Asian species, some more invasiveness from over there coming here. They have a higher reproduction rate than our local species, and they have a voracious appetite. They're going to kill this river. The next one, the fourth element, is called geyserism. That has to do with a whole other group of other elements. The other thing is to walk away to show respect to the native species, because the snakeheads, they're going to destroy this river. The species is in a tremendous decline right now. There was a period of time before they've been decimated in Europe, in Asia, and all over the place, where the eel was actually 25% of the protein provided on the entire world. Native Americans use them here exquisitely as a prime source of gathering food to stockpile for the winter. Their mission is to go to the Sargasso Sea, spawn, and die at that period of time. They're a catagonious species. They go from fresh to salt to spawn and die. And they are one of the most amazing species. Stop. There's an article that came here a little while ago. There's some other girls that have lived here for some periods of time, all good girls. But the article that I just read recently was quite interesting. It says that, well, Ray, there have been some ladies that have spent some time here, but the only one that is here now is in a cage out back. I graduated from State University of New York, and then I went to a private engineering school in Indiana. Anyway, but I do give Beth a discount. I'm not sure she's going to play with us right now, but we'll do our best. If she comes to me and I can capture her head, get it under my shirt, then what you'll do is move to here. This will be open, all right? I'm not sure she's going to come back. She's already been fed. The only reason she comes to me is to get fed. I did bring one piece of bread just in case. Then you have to turn the page to find out that I have an emu. And she hugs me every morning. Yo, nicely done. You're being a good bird. Come on over here and be a bird. Check it out. Groceries. Okay. Move over to the door. You guys there?
I'm here now.
Okay, come on. And she slams her body right into me. This is what we can do in the morning. I know, you breathing heavy? You know what's interesting about this? I had somebody take one of those things that you're talking into. It says, how old do emus live? Well, guess what? It said one of them lived to be 38 years old, which I thought was interesting because she came here at 06. That means she's 18, right? Mm-hmm. So you take the 18 and you subtract it and you add that onto her lifestyle. And at that point, say she's 18 now, and you add on that amount of what would it be? 18? Well, anyway, about 18, 20 years. Okay, you take that 18, 20 years of her lasting that long, you take 20 years, add them on to 76, what do you get? Significant geyserism. All right, what do you want to do? Are we having fun yet? So, there's my lady friend. Have a good one, kid. Eat a peach. Normally I have a glove here that I kneel down on. I forgot it. So, you gonna be all right? Of course.
What a cool animal.
The thing of it is interesting that two friends of mine, state troopers, picked her off of Route 17, causing traffic disturbances. Figured, Ray's got a smokehouse. Maybe we can do some. The interesting was someplace up near Norwich or Cortland, there was a farm that had a bunch of emus, and something like a dozen of them got loose. I had every sheriff, every state trooper down here to find out if they were mine. Yeah, last year she laid 11 of them.
Wow.
The year before that she laid 15.
Very cool.
They're mallards head green, and they weigh 1.5 pounds.
Do you eat them?
I usually keep them around and sell them.
Yeah. Have you eaten them before?
I have. It's just a big egg.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know the difference.
Interesting.
What I usually do, though, when they're here, if a young family comes in, they got a little kid, a lot of times I'll give them the eggs. It's like they've never seen anything like that before, and something like that happens, they remember it. Well, I've had a pretty good time here, you know, but there have been some tragedies that have been rather dynamic. I've lost my parents, but that's life. The basic adage that I know and love is if you know where you're going, it's easier to get there. Get out.
Get out of here.
They're crazy, man. Let me see something.